Well, welcome everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy Easter. For those of you celebrating this weekend, I'm going to keep today's training short. We have some very important announcements and then also some really good training on a couple of concepts that I think are really going to help your business. But the first thing I want to do is I want to go through a little training on a couple of our promotions, just so everybody understands the process. These terms have been in the bucket list terms and conditions since the beginning. We also have had multiple blurbs in the back office. It's really important that you tell your new people to log into the back office frequently, check the news. The news has a ton of information in it. It has all of our Facebook groups. That's one of the things that I really think we could be doing better on is getting people into our Bryte Lyfe Facebook group. Um, the group has almost 800 people, so that's good, but it's definitely not anywhere near all of our members and influencers. And so it's really important that you're welcoming people to the team and to the group, and it lets them think that they're not in this alone. It lets them understand that. And this is a higher level of three-way validation, third-party validation when they get added to a group. See, it almost feels like a floating device if you can't swim, because you get access to all this information. They're going to see all of the recognition. They're going to see a lot of promotions. They're going to see a lot of savings examples, all the news and announcements. We've built an entirely new communication platform that's going to be part of Bryte Lyfe 2.0, and you guys are going to love it. We're going to be able to communicate more through push notifications. So like when we're starting a training like today, I'll be able to send a push notification to everybody. It'll ping your app and you'll know that the training has started. But the problem is there are a ton of restrictions inside of the App Store and inside of the Google Play Store in terms of direct communication with customers. And then also with texting, text broadcasting, voice broadcasting, there's just certain things that we cannot do, and that we're limited on. And so we've been building this new communication platform inside of version 2.0. And so right now, the best way for us to get information to people has been the Bryte Lyfe Facebook group. So if you want the direct links, if you're not in there, you can go to brytelifeblueprint.com. It's got all the groups, all the social media pages. You can also go to brytelyfe.com and see our YouTube channel at the bottom. It's got our Instagram page and it's got our main Facebook page, which on the main Facebook page, you can also follow that. That's more generic, okay? But our Bryte Lyfe group is an open group, so you can invite any of your new members. So when you sign someone up, that should literally be like the first thing you do. If you are, leading your team and you're creating systems and processes, you should be welcoming everybody to the team on the Bryte Lyfe Facebook group, because this has been our primary mode of communication. It's the thing that people check the most often. We have a really high open ratio on our app on a regular basis. So once our communication tools go live, you're going to have much more communication from corporate in terms of programs and announcements and updates and alerts and recognition. So in the meantime, we're really asking you to help us help you by adding all of your, because you just click on invite. So you just literally go to the Bryte Lyfe group. You just put in Bryte Lyfe in groups. So search groups, put in Bryte Lyfe, you will see it. And I encourage you to do that immediately. As soon as somebody gets signed up, I mean, if they're at the meeting with you, do it right there while they have their phone with them. Say, hey, let's go ahead and get you plugged in. Have them follow the Instagram page. This is going to keep their feed full of announcements, alerts. I do a lot of promotions about Bryte Lyfe on my personal pages. And that's not meant for you to share. Those are announcements for you, for members. I'm not doing that to recruit. I'm doing that to get information to all of you. And so we've been having incredible sales weeks, week after week after week after week, every single month. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary. Every single month that we've been in business, we've grown. And here's something else that's crazy. our retention has gotten better every single month. So when you think about that, the numbers that I talked about, for those of you that went back and watched my video from August 10th, that I told everybody to go watch because I predicted what is starting to happen with product-based MLMs. I mentioned that there were going to be big companies that you knew that would be filing bankruptcy, that would be going out of business, that would be terminating distributors. I posted that a year ago on August 10th. So if you go to the Bryte Lyfe YouTube channel and you go to August 10th, I did a training where I talked about our retention and what our retention was at that point. And right now, our retention is not quite double, but it's almost double where I thought it was going to be. I just got the most recent numbers on Thursday, and our retention is higher than what I ever could have imagined in the first year. It's crazy. I mean, I'm going to give an entire message on this in Vegas. And so if you have not gotten registered for Vegas, I have seen some previews of version 2.0 of our app. All of the contracts for all of our new vendors and providers and new discounts and new benefits have been signed. The tech is being integrated. We have special surprise speakers that are going to be speaking in Vegas. So if you have not gotten registered, remember, we started a new promotion last week where any new members that join can get buy one, get one free conference tickets. If they purchase a ticket within their first 7 days of signing up, they get 2 tickets for the price of 1. So if you've not bought your Vegas ticket, have your new person buy one when they get signed up, and then have them sell you their ticket, their bonus ticket, if they're not taking a guest. So make sure you take advantage of that buy one, get one free promotion with your new people, and you're adding Vegas to all of your conversations. And so with that being said, I want to talk about a couple of these things that have been posted in the news. They're also in all of our terms, but there have been a lot of questions coming in because a lot of people are starting to qualify for their bucket list trips. So just so you know the process of the bucket list trips, and once again, by the way, this has all been in the terms the entire time since we launched over a year ago with pre-launch, okay? But the bucket list trips, when your countdown expires, okay, so let's say it expires this month in the month of April, the month has to end. We have to audit manually all of the qualifiers for the month, and then by the 15th of next month, that's when you're notified. Now, you have 1 year from the time that you're notified for your trip in order to take your vacation, okay? So you will have 1 year from your notification, not 1 year from when your clock resets. And then once you go through the process of choosing, when we send you your location and date options, once you choose it and you book it, we will restart your countdown clock, okay? So we will restart your countdown clock. It'll go back to where it was supposed to go. But until you're booked, we keep the clock stopped so that we can make sure you get your trip booked and everything is confirmed. We have a form you have to fill out. You have to sign it electronically. We have to submit it to the hotel. So there are a lot of steps, and we explain all of that to you once you get notified. We walk you through all of those steps. So if you're qualifying this month, you will get notified by the 15th of next month, because that gives us time to audit the entire month, assign all of the trips based on what you chose, and give you your notification. Here's something else that's important. There are a handful of people who've never filled in their bucket list. Now, in the terms, it says that you must have 10 destinations selected by the time your clock expires. So if you don't have 10, make sure you go do it immediately. Go do it as soon as we're done here, okay? Or pull up your phone right now and do it, okay? But get it done today, because if you don't have 10, you're not eligible for your trip. You must have 10 cities selected, and you must have them selected by the time your clock goes off, because once your clock goes off, it sends an alert to us internally. We decide which destination we're going to give you. And then we do the manual audits for the month, and that email goes out with your destination, and we ask you some questions about your guest, about how many beds you need, so forth, okay? So there's a whole process behind the scenes. So it's important that you guys keep it in mind that you will you need to make sure you follow the process, follow the procedure so that you can make sure you get your trip. Okay, so very, very important that you get all of your team members to fill in their 10, because I would hate for somebody to qualify and then not have their list and then they don't get a trip. So and you have to remember, we have to make sure that we keep the rules the same for everybody. So we're not making any exceptions. We're not changing any rules for anybody. We have to make sure we keep this the same. And we have a very big expense in terms of the Bryte Lyfe Bucket List Trips and also the free life promotion. And so speaking of the free life promotion, we've talked about this. I say it on every single call. As long as you have 2 active members before your billing date, you are not charged for your billing. But if your billing date comes and you do not have 2 active personal members, you will be charged your monthly fee. It's always been explained this way. It's been promoted this way. It's been talked about since the beginning. And so please make sure your people know that's the whole reason right underneath the free life qualification, it has your billing date. So your billing date is right there along with the billing date of your personals. So you can monitor it, you can manage it. If somebody's card is expired, if somebody's card is declined, or if you don't have 2, you know you must have it before your billing date. When your billing date hits, you will be charged and you no longer are eligible for free life for that month. Now, if you get 2 people signed up on the date of your billing, you're going to pay that month one more time, but you are not going to pay it next month. But that is the way the system works. This is a very, very expensive promotion for us. We now have over 300 people qualified for free life. That's wild. It's crazy. We have over 300 people who are going to be getting a free $3,000 to $5,000 vacation. Okay, so do the math on that. Okay, 300 times $3,000 to $5,000 vacation. Okay, so that's over $1 million worth of retail trips we're giving away right now. Okay, so it's important that you want the company to do well financially. We cannot afford to give people exceptions, to reset people's clocks if they didn't know and they weren't paying attention and they didn't log in. That is on them. Okay, so we've done everything in our power to make it as easy as possible so that all you have to do is log in and look at your home screen. It shows you your countdown clock. So if you miss it and you go into grace, you've got 28 days before your next billing date is due, before that clock will reset back to 12 months. Okay. So once again, it's people need to take control. It's super simple. The bucket list clock is right there. Your billing date is right there. You've got your free life qualifiers right there. It says when their billing date is. It says if they're active and qualified. So we have literally made this foolproof, but they have to log in. Most of the time, people that don't understand have literally seen that. Tammy, just you can follow up with me offline. Okay, thank you. You can actually see that your business is right in front of you as long as you log in. So please make sure that you log in to the app on a regular basis. That's why we made the interface that way. So it's really important that everybody understands free life qualification, the bucket list trips, bucket list terms, all of that. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show you really quick is I want to show you in the app the $ where member deals is. I want to show you the new vendors that went live last week. We've had a lot of these in our newsletter. These have been announced. And so they're now in the app. They also will be on the web very soon. In fact, they probably will be on the web Monday or Tuesday. I saw the final iteration of that. So they're about to push that live if they haven't already. So I'm going to share this with you really quick. So this is the $. When you click on the $, that is where you're going to be. All right. And so when you click on the $, it's going to take you through you've got your World Vantage Golf, you've got member deals, You've got the Sports Events 365, which is event tickets all over the world. You've got Foundation Room, Resort Pass, luxury goods. A lot of these, like I said, have been announced. They've been in our newsletters. And now they are live in the app. And so this is golf. Then you have member deals. Member deals is also where cruises and car rentals are. I've had some people asking about that. Please make sure your people are watching the products training that I did about a month ago, 5 weeks ago. It says products training in the YouTube channel. We've got that video out there. So please make sure your people are watching the product training so that we can stay in touch with them. All right. So now we're going to move into some training today, and I want to talk to you about some things that are kind of tips of mine. We've had so many new people join over the last 60 days. And so I think one of the things we need to work on is how we're starting people off. And one of the things that happens is when somebody signs up, they tend to get some of this rejection roller coaster, the rejection rocket. I've talked about this in some trainings, and I've talked about it in the mentorship series. And by the way, we would love to have more people in the mentorship series. The mentorship series, I mean, when I used to do private coaching for the direct sales industry, I used to take private clients. I coached leaders from other companies and leaders that were not part of my organization and did private one-on-one coaching. I charged $2,500 an hour, okay? So $2,500 an hour is what I charge for private coaching. And I have started this mentorship series, and we had a lot of great results with the first one that we did. And we had a lot of people that stuck with it. And so we've done a few of these now on the new mentorship series. So there's 4 videos up. They are up on my personal YouTube channel. So you can go to youtube.com/Wes Melcher. You can see the videos. I would encourage you this weekend, while you have some downtime, it's a holiday weekend, probably be eating and doing some Easter egg hunting and some church and stuff. Watch those 4 videos. It's only going to take you a couple of hours to watch the 4. I've tried to make them a little bit shorter than I did in the first mentorship series. But what it is it's almost like one-on-one coaching. I'm going through talking about what to do with new people, talking about how to invite, how to make your list, what I say, what I don't say, how to answer objections, how to close better. I mean, I go through all of it. And so if you want to get mentored by me individually and not pay $2,500, and by the way, if any of you want to get private coaching from me, just let me know. Shoot me a message. But you can get it for free, okay, if you go to the mentorship group. And we do those on Sundays and Wednesdays. But because we're not doing it tomorrow night, because of Easter, we're going to be doing it on Monday night. So Monday night following the Zoom, and the Monday night Zoom should be huge because you've got an entire weekend where you're going to be around friends and family that you can invite to Monday night. So that Monday night Zoom, and since we're not doing Sunday, Sunday's always huge. It's always packed. So Monday night is going to be massive. So you definitely want to promote the heck out of Monday night. And then immediately following the Monday night Zoom, we're going to be doing the mentorship series. So in this mentorship series, it's allowed me to see some of the questions and objections and things that people are facing. And because we've had so many people join over the last 60 days, I think some of this stuff is really timely to talk about right now because it's come up in the mentorship group in the first one and now also with the second one. On kind of the psychology behind what happens to people in the business. Because a lot of times people take it personal when people don't join or they don't sign up or they don't respond right away. But you should never take it personal because it's a psychological thing. See, certain people have a higher tolerance for rejection and negativity than others, okay? So when people go out there and do it their way and they don't follow the program, what happens is they're going to get rejection because when you don't follow the program, it's not going to work for you, okay? And so when you're not getting the results that you're seeing people get, you're doing something wrong, right? You can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get different results. They say that's the definition of an insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again and then expecting to get different results. So if you're not getting the results that you want, it's very important that you plug into this mentorship, plug into your upline, plug into your team, and make sure you're following the program and doing what everybody else is doing. So I talked about this a few months ago. I talked about the two questions that people ask when they first see the information. And those two questions, in order to sign someone up, they have to answer these two questions with a yes. Can I do this and will it work? Now, can I do this starts from the invite. So, however you're inviting them, they are processing when they're seeing the information. If you're exposing them, they're saying, could I do what he or she did to me? And they go back to the beginning. They go back to that invite. They go back to the first introduction, the phone call, the text, however it was, the meeting out and about. Maybe you met them for drinks or dinner or coffee or whatever, or you saw them at church, you saw them at an activity, and you started prospecting them. You started inviting them. So they go through that and they're playing that in their mind. Can I do this? Would I feel comfortable doing this to my friends, doing this to my family, doing this to my contacts? What's being done to me? That's the primary driver behind most people's activity and action and also decision. So then what happens is if they don't feel comfortable doing that, a lot of times they won't even sign up. Because if you act weird or strange or it's not comfortable or it's awkward, they're going to answer that question with a no, and then you're never going to get them signed up to begin with. But then the second question, and this is the one that's been coming up in the mentorship group, I think, most often, because people in the mentorship group are obviously not performing at a high level yet. Some of them are starting to get results, but a lot of times people are making that second question, that decision on will it work, based on third-party validation. And I think, this is a perfect example to talk about for Easter weekend, because the saying, you're not a prophet in your own town, came from Jesus, okay? Because he was born in Bethlehem, but grew up in Nazareth, and he was just a carpenter's son. And so he had to leave and get out and go start doing his ministry outside of where he was from, because they were like, yo, that's Joseph's son. That's Mary's son. He's like, that's Jesus. He's a carpenter's kid. Like that whole saying of you're not a prophet in your own town, your contacts, your prospects are not looking at you as a Bryte Lyfe expert because they've never known that about you. They're like, what does he or she know about travel or sports or music or entertainment? I've never seen them travel. I've not seen them at a concert. Maybe you're wanting those things in your life, and that's why you joined Bryte Lyfe. So you have to understand, you need to get out of the way of the information. You should just be the messenger and not the message, okay? The message, part of it comes back to that third-party validation, getting them on the phone or in front of somebody who's having results. That's why we have the ad tag message group. Bucket Lyst Lyfe is the ad tag message group. That is all consumer-facing testimonials. You could also take somebody to the Bryte Lyfe private or the Bryte Lyfe group, but Bucket Lyst Lyfe is the ad tag message group. It's also on the Bryte Lyfe blueprint. It's full of testimonials. So if you don't have somebody that can do a third-party validation for you, use the Bucket Lyst Lyfe group. You've got tons of testimonials on there. There's saving stories, there's trip bookings, there's all kinds of examples on there. And so it's really important that you use the tools that are there to give that third-party credibility. And the ideal thing is as soon as they're done with the presentation, as soon as they're off of the Zoom, you should have your third-party validation already lined up. You should have whoever is on your team. It doesn't even have to be your upline. It could be downline. You just need to edify that person to your guest and edify your guest to that person. You always want to edify both parties so that they both feel like they're on a level playing field with each other and they don't have to impress one another. They've already had a great introduction. It allows the expert, and even if the expert is new and they haven't made millions of dollars or they haven't made thousands of dollars, they haven't taken a lot of trips, but they can talk about people who have. They can share their experiences. They can share other stories. They can make it real. And remember, that person doesn't know this prospect like you do. So they're removed from the equation. And so I've been noticing that when people are not getting sales and they're not getting signups, they're not using that third-party validation. So that second question, will it work? They're answering with a no because the only person they see is you, and they don't think you're an expert at Bryte Lyfe. They don't think you're having success. They know you're new. So if you are new, they know it. They haven't seen you do this before. They haven't seen you do something like this before. So they don't look at you as an expert. So they don't believe that it will work for them unless they see somebody independent, somebody outside of the relationship once again, you're not a prophet in your own town. And so, like I said, I wanted to give this message today because what better weekend than the weekend of Easter to talk about where that saying came from. That's where the saying came from. And so you need to have the prophet, the expert, and you can make anyone sound like an expert by the way you edify them. And so you need to find 2, 3, or 4 credible third-party witnesses for your business. Find somebody that's booked a trip, find somebody that's had savings, find somebody that's going to Vegas, find somebody who's, a LYFE 300 or above, LYFE 800 or above. Find those people and have them on speed dial. And then when you're doing your exposures, you need to give those people a heads up and be like, hey, I've got 2 people on the Zoom tonight. Can I use you for a third party immediately afterwards? Always shoot them a text heads up so that they're watching, so they know they may have something going on during that time period. They may have guests of their own, but always try to clear it before and have your third parties lined up. If you don't, get in the Facebook group and ask people, hey, who has a good product testimonial? Who has a good business testimonial? You guys work together. This is a team sport. One of the main reasons we need to be using that Bryte Lyfe Facebook group. So make sure everybody is using that group and they're adding their new people so they can see it, so they can see that there's a system. And then the last thing that I want to wrap up with today is about what to do as soon as you sign them up. Because once again, this rejection roller coaster, this rejection rocket, when somebody is answering those 2 questions with a yes, that is not the end of your job. Signing them up is just the beginning. Duplication is the key. And so I think we're starting to see some people who are doing a good job closing. They're doing a good job with third-party validation. They're getting some people signed up, but they're not helping their people. They're not handing them off properly. They're not getting them started properly. They're not going through the Bryte Lyfe blueprint. They're not even showing them on the app where to book travel. I mean, our app has a lot of really cool features, but it's not the most intuitive. That's one of the reasons we're doing a bunch of redesign in the new version of the app. You're going to love it. We've spent hours, hundreds of hours, just going through the appearance, the display, the functionality, the buttons, the button location. We've been working on all of that. You are going to be blown away when you see version 2.0. But in the meantime, that's why it's important that you have all your people watch the product video. It's why it's important that you log them into the app. Make sure that they have their username. Make sure they have their password. Make sure they understand that on the web, they can go and reset their password. Make sure they understand how commissions work. I mean, it's been in the back office since April of 2024, how you get your commissions, okay? And the whole Pay Quicker program, it's all in the back office. It's in the news bulletin. Same thing with all the bucket list trips. Same thing with all the free life stuff. If you're handing if you're signing people up and just like, hey, go get them, it's like a bird having eggs hatch and then just kicking the birds out of the nest without any feathers to fly, okay? That's what a lot of people are doing, it feels like, because the questions that we're getting on customer support and customer service are basic things like, where are car rentals? I didn't know I had to have 2 members by my billing date in order to be free life. When do I get notified in my bucket list trip? How long is it? How many days is it? Is it all inclusive? All of these things are in the terms and conditions. And I've gone through all of that stuff in the training and in the product training, where the car rentals are, where the cruises are. I went through all of that a month ago. And now, we have the $sign where the member deals. People are sending messages, where do I book golf? I mean, it's right at the top of member deals, under the $sign in the app. And remember, those features are only in the app. They're not in the web yet. They will be in 2.0. They will be in a temporary location, probably Monday or Tuesday of this week. And so we've been doing these things to help you help yourselves. But what's happening is people are signing people up and they're just taking their money and then hoping that they go figure it out. And that is just not the way to hand people off properly. You've got to go through information with them. You've got to show them the back office. You've got to show them that that's where they handle their membership. If somebody's credit card declines or expires, all they have to do is log into the back office and click reattempt payment, reprocess payment. They can go into their memberships. That's where they cancel their membership. That's where they reactivate their membership. All that stuff is in the back office. We've gone through all of that in the training, but still new people are signing up and they don't know any of this stuff. And so how good are you setting your people up for success? How much stuff are you going through them? And then here's the other thing. Okay. One of the things that people do is as soon as they sign up, they're never going to be more excited than they were right then. So they immediately go start talking to people. If you don't tell them how to invite, and there's an entire video, it's video 1 in the 3-step video series that's on the Bryte Lyfe Blueprint. I did it a year ago. It's an incredible video on inviting. If you're not having them watch that video before they contact anybody or call anybody, they are going to struggle. They are going to fail. And then what's going to happen is you're going to have somebody who signs up, they do it wrong, and then they're going to basically go quit right then and there. And so you have to do your part of making sure you set them up for success and not failure. Because if they get excited when you show them Bryte Lyfe and then you don't tell them, hey, what I told my new people is as soon as I signed them up, I said, don't do anything until I teach you how not to make the same mistakes I did. So don't tell anybody anything. Don't say anything. Don't invite anybody. Don't do anything until I show you exactly how to do it. And then I walk them through the inviting video. If I don't do the video with them in person, I have them watch it before they can contact anybody. So that way I know that they do it right. Because if they go start talking to people, they're going to be on this downhill slope. They're going to be getting rejected. People are going to tell them they're crazy. It's not going to work because they're not going to know anything. They can't answer questions. They're trying to sell. They're trying to present. They're not inviting. They're doing it all wrong. And then you're going to have people that'll sign up and quit within a day or 2 or 3 because they have a low pain threshold. They have a low rejection threshold. They have a low tolerance for getting rejected. Somebody gets rejected by the person they care about most, their spouse, their wife, their husband, their boyfriend, their girlfriend. They're ready to quit already. And so you're setting people up for failure if you're just signing people up and then hoping that they go figure it out. Yeah, go to the website, go to brytelyfe.com. It's got everything you need to know. No, you've got to walk them through it. Show them Bryte Lyfe Blueprint. Make sure they get added to the Facebook group. You should be adding everybody to the Facebook group as soon as they sign up. So please make sure that you're handing people off right. We've got so many new people that have joined in the last 60 days. That's why I wanted to do the product training a month ago. That's why I wanted to go through this stuff today, because we're growing so fast right now that people are not getting handed off properly. They're not getting shown the ropes. They're not getting shown the app. They're not getting shown the systems and the processes and how the commissions work with Pay Quicker and how they're going to get notified. And it's 2 weeks after the Friday closeout. I mean, all of these things that are in the back office, that are in the comp plan document, that are in the bucket list terms and conditions that we've trained on and trained on and trained on, nobody knows this stuff. A lot of people are asking questions because we've got so many new people. So this weekend, spend some time digging in with your people, especially your new people, making sure they understand where to sign up for Vegas and that they can use travel dollars to sign up for Vegas. I mean, right now, a new person can sign up. They could sign a couple of people up, get free life qualified in the first week. They can use their travel dollars to pay for Vegas. I mean, they can book their room in Vegas. I've seen people booking rooms for $15 a night Memorial Day weekend on the app. They don't have to stay at Resorts World. So are you digging in with your people? Are you spending time with them? Are you showing them the app? Are you making sure that their questions are answered? Are you making sure they understand everything? That is going to help them understand the will it work. Because it's one thing to see that it'll work from a third party enough to sign up, but then you have to keep them thinking this is working, this is happening. And that's one of the reasons why we do recognition every Sunday, so you can see it. That's why we post a recognition in the group. But if your people are not in the Bryte Lyfe group on Facebook, they're not seeing the recognition, right? Those of you that have ranks happening in your business, you're getting the rank up alerts inside of the app. How awesome is that? And then every time a new person joins your team, you're getting the notification. I'm getting hundreds of these a week. And so it's awesome, but I'm seeing everybody's. If your team's not moving, if people aren't working, you're not getting those notifications, okay? So you be the driving force in what's happening inside your organization. It starts with you, what you're teaching, what you're training, what you're showing, and then try to get all your new people to get on the mentorship. They can get on the mentorship on Monday night, even if they haven't been on the first few nights, okay? So make sure that you use the system for your team and get everybody plugged in. The mentorship was for you. It was for new people. Even if you have experience, even if you've been in for a while, get on Monday night and use the systems. Use the mentorship. Your people are not going to get on. If you tell them to get on, but you're not on, they're not going to get on, or they're going to get on once and they're not going to stay on. We want that group to be big. This is a chance for you to get private one-on-one coaching and have success. Okay. So Everybody, thanks so much for being on here today on a holiday weekend. I appreciate you. This was recorded. It'll be posted within the hour so you can get all of your team to watch this and make sure that they're in the loop and in the know with everything we discussed. Happy Easter. It is going to be an incredible Sunday tomorrow. Can't wait to spend it with my friends and family and celebrating the resurrection of Jesus. And so thank you for being on here today. Happy Easter. Happy holiday weekend. And I can't wait to see how many people we get on the Zoom on Monday night, how many people we get on the mentorship on Monday night. After taking a little bit of a break for Easter tomorrow. So no Zooms tomorrow. Make sure your people know. We'll be back on Monday night with a lot of great information and activities for you. Have a great weekend. Happy Easter and God bless.